Good evening, family. What's up, everybody? It's the one and only African superstar award winning artist basing in Accra, Ghana. Yes, yes, yes. I'm fresh off TikTok. You see what I'm saying? I had to get a little jazzy for TikTok. And I want to talk about this topic today, which is the danger of high expectations. Yes. So we're going to talk about this today. Before we get into that, I want to just talk about the status of the studio sessions. We still have not raised the complete amount for the upcoming studio session. I spoke to my producer today, and we would love to get a session next week. However, we are still short $70. Big shout outs to Ajike and also the consultancy agency. They both sent Cash Apps and PayPal's respectively, but we are still short. We've raised $130 so far, so we need 70 to get to the 200 marker. So again, we just want to speak to the family and ask that you can send some tangible support for the upcoming studio sessions for the new music that we're going to release in early 2025. Big shout out to the African Superstar family, guys. If you're here in the building, please make sure you leave a like, be a part of our conversation today. Today, I want to talk about the danger of high expectations. When I look at our current, generation, I see that so many people are unhappy. So many people are depressed. So many people don't have friends. They don't have this. They don't have that. You have people that are unhappy in the West, for instance. Then when they travel to Africa, they're not happy in Africa. And what I want to share with you is a pro tip that I have come to understand. It's part of our mission statement. Big shout out to Jennifer Edie, the first one in the room. Make sure you guys do the necessary. If you're happy to see me, happy holidays for those of you guys getting down with White Jesus' birthday and all of that jazz. Yeah, shout outs to you guys. Happy New Year's. You guys know the motto by now for 2025. Say less, do more. We're all about tangible implementation. But what I'm going to share tonight during this episode is a pro tip that I have learned. And again, it ties into our mission statement here on the channel, which is strategy, maturity, and patience. And essentially what that means is you understand that life is not perfect. You understand that it's going to confront you with problems, both, predictable problems and unforeseen problems, and that's life. Okay? As we say here in Ghana, nowhere cool. Everywhere that you go is going to have its amount of challenges and problems and all of that. When you have high expectations, like for instance, I know I mentioned some diasporans are coming here to Africa and they have transposed all of this hope and all of this like euphoria and wishful thinking. When they come here, they're going to receive this huge welcome and, everybody's going to be happy to see them. And when they get here and they start getting a dose of the reality of living on the continent or being here, or some of the, popular mentality, the school of thought here on the continent, they then get discouraged. I want to tell you guys that having high expectations is dangerous. You will literally never be happy. You'll literally never be satisfied, because even if you're achieving like 70% of your objectives, whatever you're working on, that 30% is going to evade you. And you're going to be constantly searching, and that's what I could say kind of identifies my generation, is they are constantly searching. Big shout outs to Matrell on a Mission. Hi, sweetheart. It's good to see you. I was binge watching your channel yesterday. I'm sure you probably saw me in the comments. Much love to Matrell on a Mission. Make sure you guys show her love. Go check out her amazing content about life in Egypt, retiring in Egypt, business prospects, traveling there, and so on and so forth. She has really, really great content. And she has such a dynamic personality, Mature. I actually enjoy watching you. You're happy, you're friendly, you smile, you have an amazing countenance on the camera. Let me just tell you that since you're here today. Yes. So When you are mature, when you're actually practicing our mission statement, okay, strategy, maturity, and patience, SMP, you will have so much more gratification in life because you already know that, you know, you're not going to be able to achieve all your objectives. I mean, let me just tell you, if you don't know already, that there is no perfect place to reside in the world. I mean, even rich people are going through their various challenges and whatnot. I mean, life itself is a hardship. Okay. I don't care which level you get to, you know, high or low. There's problems on every single tier. When you acknowledge that fact and you accept that fact and you start being grateful for where you are, you start exercising some contentment, okay? You start exercising some maturity to count up the costs, you will be so much more happier in this world. I'm telling you. Because the high expectations, you know, the high expectations of your peers will get you down. You know, Metro is also a YouTuber here. I have several YouTubers, you know, shout outs to you guys that also watch your African Superstar. But, you know, we look at, for instance, our platforms. I have a platform of 6,000 plus, you know, subscribers. And I have loads of, you know, followers on Facebook, Instagram. You know, you have all these numbers and you look at it and you think to yourself, my goodness, with the support of, you know, 5% of my channel, 10% of my channel, half of my channel, what I would be able to achieve would be miraculous. I mean, and I would be able to do it in lightning speed. But the reality is understanding that it's difficult to get people on board with your objectives. You know, people can be difficult and everyone communicates differently. So some people you can talk to them like this, and the other ones you need a different approach, and the other ones need written, and the other ones need visual. And you know, it's very, very complex. But maturity is going to tell you this is how it is. You know, so if you're smart, you start working with what you have and to achieve your goals. A lot of you are very disappointed in your lives because you have unrealistic high expectations. You have high expectations of everything. You have high expectations of white people. You have high expectations of God. You have high expectations of the government. You have high expectations on online dating. You know, every single thing that you are pursuing, you have these really, really high expectations, and it leads to disappointment because very few things in this world are going to measure up. And I'm telling you that if you actually reduce your expectations, okay, now if you want to have high expectations, you can transpose that on yourself because you have 100% control of your own input and output. Okay, so if you want to bet, you want to put the money down, you bet on yourself. You bet on your track record. You bet on your ability to perform. Okay, but when it comes to anything outside of you, have minimum low expectations of those things. Trust me. And then on the rare occasion that something exceeds your expectations, you will actually be able to enjoy the fact that this thing superseded your expectations instead of the disappointment that it turned in so low. Big shout out to the family. Please make sure you like the stream, be a part of our conversation. High expectations, guys, the dangers. You're never going to be satisfied. You know, you're never going to be satisfied if you continue on with these high expectations. You know, I tell sometimes people when they romanticize the journey of coming to Africa, I tell them, you know, the diaspora has recently gotten interested in the continent, recently started traveling there, recently started moving there, recently started educating themselves of what the whole thing. Okay, which means for several decades, the diaspora has not been pouring into Africa, has not been traveling here, has not been versing themselves, and so on and so forth. You know, the Western diaspora, obviously, the African diaspora will come home and visit their families and invest and build, but the Western diaspora has been neglecting Africa for decades. You know, and so when we come here with these high expectations of what it's going to be like, we're setting ourselves up for failure. You know, just because you have had that epiphany, just because you have had that come to Jesus, that wake up call, you know, everybody is not on your page. Everybody has not been moving succinctly with you. In some respects, you may be way ahead of your peers with your ideology. You know, I tell my own personal story about relocating, you know, leaving the US. Okay. I've been on that. You know, I applied for my British passport back in what, 2014? It's already been 10 years. At the time I was foreseeing getting out, you know, nobody was talking about it for the most part, you know, and I had to deal with unwanted opinions and all of this stuff, you know. When you are ahead of your peers sometimes, you know, you're a forward thinking individual, you are a progressive person, you are a critical thinker, you're a big picture type of person. Guys, you've got to calculate up the cost. Okay? You've got to understand what that really means. Because a lot of people talk about being leaders and they talk about being pioneers and they don't understand what the journey entails. Okay? When you are a leader, you're out in front. You're going first. Okay? You may be creating the path. That's what it is. Okay? The leaders don't run in packs of leaders. There's not packs of no. No. You know, so a lot of times, you know, that solo journey is synonymous with leadership, you know, and again, in maturity, we can't lament the path that we have chosen. Or sometimes people will say, this life chose me. I didn't choose this life. Okay, well, whatever. When you decide that you're going to walk that path for one reason or another, you need to calculate up what that means. And you don't need to lament it, because at the end of the day, you're something special. You're something dynamic. Okay? Your life might be a bit challenging. It might be a bit hard. But you're something dynamic at the same time. So you got to take the good with the bad. You know, I get the privilege of being the African superstar. I get the privilege of having influence in my community, influence over the youth. You know, I've been in important places with important people because of my work. And those are the enjoyable high points of the journey, but there's a lot of toiling that goes on, guys. There's a lot of toiling goes on. And again, for those of us that are adults, big shout outs to ATM International. I see you guys in the building. You know, the reality is that you basically, guys, the high expectations, you know, we are all adults at this point. We have been through a series of, you know, jobs, relationships. Some of you guys are parents. Some of you guys are serial entrepreneurs. After a while, you can kind of, you know, you can kind of calculate how life is, you know, human nature, how things work and all of that. So you really shouldn't be surprised when things don't work out exactly as you anticipated. You really shouldn't. Because you know the probability of it being some BS is high in anything. You know, when you watch that infomercial before my video, and you decide to go to the free seminar, you decide to go listen to whatever they have to say, there's a high probability that this thing is a pyramid scheme. There's a high probability that they're going to sell you a course. Yeah. But you want to hope for the best. And it's okay to hope for the best, but that reality needs to come in. You will guard your heart when you don't have such high, crazy expectations of all this stuff. When you come to the continent, be happy for a safe environment. Be happy for a refuge from racism. Be happy for that all year tropical. Hello. Be happy for the Black majority. Be happy that you're welcome, that you're not, ostracized or rejected or told to leave. Play up on the advantages that you have and the positive things, and you will be very happy. Trust me. I'm so happy. I mean, you guys see it. You guys remark on it, how happy I am here in Ghana. The main thing I love about Ghana is my freedom. I'm willing to take the good with the bad, because that one singular aspect is an aspect I have not experienced anywhere else in the world. Okay, the version of freedom that we're offered in the Western world is a bunch of baloney. Okay, it's not freedom. Not freedom of movement, not freedom of speech, not freedom of opinions. You know what I mean? You do not have freedom there. You have a lot of constraints. Now, if you go with the status quo, you might think that you have freedom, but the minute that you contest it, or you disagree, or you want to take some recourse, you're going to find out that, oh yeah, I really don't have that freedom. Some of you guys think you have freedom. Okay, then what's delaying you from going to the motherland? What's delaying you from your aspirations? What's delaying you from traveling, visiting? Why? Because you don't really have that freedom now. You got that car payment, you got that mortgage, you got that job, you got them student loans. Okay, you got Uncle Sam. You're bound. You're not free. Freedom is getting up and doing what you want to do when you want to do it. Saying, hey, I've had enough of this. I want something new. I want a different lifestyle. So for me, because freedom is the paramount thing, and for me, freedom is available here in Ghana, I'm going to take the rough roads. I'm going to take the cultural differences. I'm going to take, the occasional light out or water not flowing or whatever that goes with a developing nation, because what I'm gaining is so much more valuable. Now, yeah, I can go to, the UK, constant network, constant power, smooth paved roads, more infrastructure. Yeah, I can have all of that and then be in that slavery. So what's what? Having more realistic expectations, guys, will give you more enjoyment in life. Trust me. Because when you start learning how to be appreciative for the basics that you have, your health, sound mind, shelter, food, the amenities, and even some luxuries, your cell phone, your nice car, your designer clothes, or whatever it is that you have that you enjoy. You wear nice, like me, I wear nice, expensive perfume every day. I put perfume on and go to the gym. I put perfume on and get in my bed. And all those things for me have become frills because I focus on the core things. When I want to start moping or being sad or feeling like things are not working out my way, I go back to the fact that all my immediate needs are taken care of. Right now, this second, somebody is looking for a meal to eat. Somebody's going to sleep under the bridge. Huh? Shout outs to those of you guys in America, those of you guys in the UK. You can pop your flags in the chat room. We have 8 of you so far. Yeah, big shout out to the family. You can put your flags in the chat room. Yeah, you know how cold it is outside right now. Somebody's about to nestle up under the bridge or on the park bench or whatever. Try to get a spot in the shelter for tonight. Huh? Somebody's battling with problems in their body right now. You know, I used to work at the mental hospital in the UK. Shout out to the family. We have Matrell representing from Egypt and ATM Internationals in the US. You can pop your flags in, guys. I remember that there was one particular patient at the mental hospital that I worked at, and her family was rich. They were big time in the UK. I forget exactly what business they had. I think they might have had like a newspaper or something like that. But this girl was in there, and she had all the money at her disposal. You know, she could buy all the snacks. You know, in institutions like prisons and stuff like that, you know, the snacks is a big deal. Okay, they can go to the canteen and, you know, buy their bottles of pop and their favorite crisp and their favorite chocolates and all that stuff. And this girl, she could buy whatever she wanted. You know, she would also get new clothes sent to her all the time. You know, everything that money could buy, she had access to. You know, but she was in a locked psychiatric hospital, guys. Okay, she has mental issues. We have so much to be grateful for. That insatiable quest of I want more, I want this, I want that, you know what I'm saying? You got 70%, but you focus on that 30 that you don't have. That insatiable, you know, desires is wrecking people's lives. That's just the truth. You know, in relationships, you have a decent partner, you have a good partner that ticks a lot of boxes for you, but they're missing one or two things. And here you are out there in the streets, out there on these online dating sites and all of that, because you're missing one or two things. Let me just give you a pro tip. When it comes to romantic relationship, guys, I think probably the highest ratio that you can ever achieve is probably 70-30. Okay, the person that you meet, you might be dating, you're interested in romantically, probably the highest that they're going to ever be is 70%. Because from my own synopsis, that's high. They're going to come with their shortages. They're going to come with their problems. They're going to come with their deficits. You know, they're going to come with their baggage, whatever. All right. And they might have, you know, that 70% to offer you. They're going to come up short. Our generation is insatiable, and that's why they're unhappy, because nothing is ever good enough. Okay. There's a lot of good looking men out there, huh? There's a lot of beautiful women out there with our generation as well. You know, plastic surgery is a big thing. People augmenting their bodies and hair extensions and makeup. You know, people can look like $1,000,000. There's a lot of big, you know, big women, big booty, big breasts, big lips, attractive women. Okay, if you can't pick one and work with what you got, then you're always going to be searching. You're always going to be wanting, you know. And I think another thing our generation hasn't really come to grips with is that we're not going to always be young. We're aging, you know. The concept of thinking about and readying for the future. We are operating like older juveniles a lot of times. You see some just totally immature men and women out here. And it's going to be devastating when they get to 60, 70, 80, maybe, and they realize that, you know, They have not prepared themselves. Big shout outs, Michelle. I see you in the building. Yes, family. Lower those expectations, guys, especially as you take a understanding of the quality of people in this here 2025, guys. Very low quality people, not critical thinkers, okay, not big picture kind of people. They cannot hone in on their emotional, well-being. All this mental illness, it's a lack of problem resolution. It's a lack of maturity. It's a lack of being able to rein yourself in. Because the reality is, the things that's making people depressed in 2025, it's not new stuff. Excuse my language. It's not new shit. Okay, people been getting broke up with. People been getting fired. Black people have been putting up with racism. Huh? Is police brutality new? No. These things that people are getting so upset and unnerved about are perpetual human themes. The difference is they don't know how to negotiate these things. Okay, for context, first trivia question, how many people have had a breakup in the chat room? Just put a number one. Big shout out to the family. Also, reminder, guys, we are still raising money for the studio session. I did mention earlier we have raised $130 so far. We're still down 70. I spoke to my producer today, and I really want to get to the studio next week to record 6 new African Superstar tracks. So if you're able to help me a bit and contribute to our next studio sessions, I will greatly appreciate it. I'm only asking because I had to travel to the UK on my own dollar. Yes. I know you guys think, oh yeah, they're paying your way. No, 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 no. I bought my plane ticket. I paid my way and all of that in the UK. So obviously that was a very expensive trip. I was there for 5 weeks, and that's the only reason I'm coming to the channel. So if you guys are able to assist me, I would greatly appreciate it. We only need $70. It's a drop in the bucket for this channel. This channel is huge, and obviously I'm definitely worth that. What I provide here on YouTube is definitely worth that. So please, 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 big shout out to the family. So the first trivia question we've only had one person answer is, who's had a breakup before? Okay, I've also had a breakup. I've had breakups squared. Okay, it's so many breakups, I can't even keep track of that shit, for real. In addition to a divorce too. It's not the end of the world. These people are flipping out because they've been rejected. Okay, if we keep it real, some of the people that have rejected us wasn't even all that anyway. I mean, it's okay. It's not. It's okay. We had those breakups, years ago, whatever, and we've moved on. We're doing okay. And so what is missing in our current generation is a lack of coping with regular human themes. And it's unfortunate. But again, calculating all this stuff that I'm talking about, guys, this is why you need to lower your expectations for your own sanity. Because I don't even know if our generation is capable of, performing high. There are some individuals that do, but I don't think it's a majority thing currently. Which means that your probability in the things that you're doing, it's going to probably be average. Now, again, you feel free to stack those odds up against yourself. You can go ahead and bet top dollar on yourself because you know what you're capable of. And again, you have complete control over the efforts that you're going to invest towards your endeavors. Okay. So that's the pro tip. Put your high expectations on yourself. Compete with yourself. Compel yourself to high performance because you have control over that. But expecting high performance out of the world we're living in, is very unwise. You're setting yourself up for failure. Some of you guys are dating online. I recently had a situation, one of my family members, and kind of got involved in one of these romance scams. Okay. And basically, these people talk a good game. Obviously, they have nice pictures online, and they woo you, they text you, they tell you sweet things and all this stuff. You guys should not get wrapped up in any of that. Okay? Don't get wrapped up in the sweet talking in life. Okay? Get wrapped up when the rubber meets the road. That's how you know people are serious about whatever they're talking about. And there's even a small percentage of people that will actually take actions, and even they ain't serious. They're actually taking those actions to convince you that they are real when they're not. But the talkers, y'all shouldn't be taking them serious at all. Tell them to prove it. Tell them to prove whatever they're telling you that they can do, whatever is on the table. Tell them to prove it. If they're too legit to quit, they're not going to have any objections. Matter of fact, those people, the people that deliver, a lot of times they don't do a lot of long talking. They don't do a lot of long talking. They come from the old school where I could show you better than I could tell you. I'm not about to be up here continually talking and talking. No, I'll just do what I got to do and then let you see that I'm about that life. And again, these are applicable themes in every facet, from romantic relationships to friendships to business relationships, online, whatever you're doing. Those people need to deliver, and they shouldn't have your full, devotion and trust until they can do that. Big shout out to the family. Sir Patrick, yes, I'm in the building today. Just dropping off a pro tip for the family. Because I see, from my position here in Ghana, and obviously here on YouTube, I see some diasporans that have come to settle in Africa. And a lot of them, all they do on their platforms is complain about this and complain about that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, but before you moved here, you were unhappy in your other setting. And you were complaining about your other setting, and that's why you decided to move. But now you've got to a new place, and you're not happy in that new place either. Where do you want to go? Where are you going to go that's going to meet all your high expectations? There's nowhere. I talked to one of my really good friends. He's in the military, and he lives in Qatar currently. And we talked the other day, and he was telling me that, he's currently earning almost $20,000 a month, which is crazy money. I mean, if any of you guys are earning that kind of money, I really need you to go ahead and send that $70 towards my next studio because that's crazy when he was telling me that. But he was telling me, subsequently with the higher earnings comes higher expenses. His car, he lives in a penthouse in Qatar. Obviously that's not cheap. Anytime he needs to travel back to the US to see his family, and he told me, he's like, and it gets boring after a while. How many cars can you buy? How many times can you, how much clothes can you buy? How much drinks can you get? And I say all that to say, that's a high level balling. Okay. You're making almost 20 grand a month. Yeah. That's a lot of money. Okay. That's a lot of money. But here you are telling me, the challenges of that lifestyle as well. There's problems on every level, guys. Yeah. And if we're fortunate, our immediate needs are met. We have shelter, we have food, we have health, okay? We have access to running water, we're safe, and we have some of the more, the conveniences, the amenities, our car, our cell phones, our clothes, whatever luxuries, whatever comforts we have, whatever. We need to start seeing the beauty in that and letting the additional things be on top. so that we can actually have some happiness and enjoy our lives. You feel me, family? Big shout out to the African Superstar family. Yes. Okay. So this was my message to you. Hopefully, I will see you again before the new year. I don't know. I don't know because I just never know anymore when I'm going to come on. You know, I kind of got to get the vibes. I got to get the inspo. But yeah, this came to me because I think that those high expectations are robbing our people of happiness, you know, because they're never going to get what it is that they want. You know, and I'm not telling you don't be ambitious, and you know, if you're an artist or creator, don't, you know, and you're trying to do big things with your craft. I'm not telling you not to go after those things, but I'm talking about the caliber of the world we're living in. Okay. You know, when you're dealing with other humans, you need to lower those expectations. You know, I know personally there's a lot of women out there, single ladies that want to settle down and meet men and have families. But these expectations they got is crazy. You know, you pair that up with the caliber of man of 2025, my dear. You know, the truth is you whenever you decide to have a romantic partner, you're settling to a certain degree. Your lifestyle may change. There has to be compromise. There may be sacrifices and all of that. So the two of you guys can accommodate each other and come together. Okay. There's nothing like, you know, a seamless transition. There's nothing like that. Let me just tell you, especially we're adults, you know, so maybe you've been living on your own for some few years. You've been divorced few years. You know, you got your setup, you got your routine. Now you're dating somebody, you know, to incorporate them into that routine, there's going to have to be some work there. Okay. That's the truth. You take a person in your life, you're going to settle to a point because you got to deal with the package of that person. You know, some people don't want, uh, you know, they want certain physical traits in their partner. Okay. But that man or woman, they haven't met them or had access to them. Okay. Or some people, you know, they don't want a person who's had children or been divorced. As we get older, the pickings get more slim, and that's just the truth. The more people are going to have baggage because people have been trying at life, have had relationships, have had children. So it's, you know, it's like a Rubik's cube, right? You're gonna turn, you know, it and adjust it until you can get it to work, and that's just the truth of it. All right, big shout out to the African Superstar family. Thank you guys so much for stopping by to see me. If you guys are seeing the playback, please make sure you leave your comments in the box below. And again, happy holidays to you guys, whatever you guys are celebrating out there. I would say definitely be careful on the roads. There's a lot of traffic here in Accra. Also, I will be at a Christmas music festival on the 29th. Yes, I'm going to be performing here in Accra. So for those of you guys that are in Ghana currently, please get the information. I'm going to post it on the community tab. I've already posted it to my Instagram because we just got the poster today. But yes, it's a music festival. It starts on the 26th and I think it goes to the 30th, but I'm going to actually be there on the 29th. So if you guys are here and you want to get a taste of that superstar in person, please come out and support me. I'm gonna be, you know, full of energy. I love performing here in Ghana. So I'm always excited when I'm here in Ghana. The next show after that, prospectively, is my show in Kumasi, 25th of January. I'll be going back to Kumasi to team up with my brother Raza Mankwatia. He's actually coming to Ghana, and we're going to do a massive festival in Bantama in Kumasi. So if you guys are here, living here, or still be in town for the holidays, then you guys, that's my current lineup, current schedule. Again, if you guys need me for your event, please don't hesitate to email me at africansuperstar@gmail.com and we can negotiate and work out those logistics. All right, family. Okay, until we meet again, stay black and true. If you ain't black, just stay true.